Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you for letting me participate in this fourth edition of the international webinar on aging and rejuvenation, which is taking place in this month of February in London. And in this presentation, this communication, what I would like is to show you, to present you the results of a paper I've been drafting with several colleagues about the elderly as a population vulnerable to COVID-19. My name is David Rodriguez Guillen, and I'm collaborating with the University of Murcia in several research in the area of sociology and also in the impact of sociology concerning the impacts in the health system in Europe and in the world. So basically, what we have been the main objective when we were been writing this paper was to analyze COVID-19 in older people and nursing homes, especially in the first wave of COVID. Of course, nowadays we are facing sixth wave in a lot of countries. The situation is completely different, but at the beginning it was very important to analyze what was the situation and the impact and the lessons that we can learn from all what has been happening during all these waves for the future, because a pandemic like the one we have been suffering today can happen in the future. And when you see all the forecasts and all the possible situation or threats in the future, apart from antimicrobial resistance or possible wars and so on, the possibility that another pandemic comes, it's a reality. So systems has to be well prepared. In this case, for this research paper that we did, the main data that we show were focused in Spain. As you know, in Spain at the beginning, in June 2020, there were 233,000 cases, out of which 27,940, almost 28,000 deaths, which was a very high rate. And what was most worrisome for Spain is that 87% of all those deaths were people over 70 years. Then with the second wave in September, we had almost 4.9 million cases and almost 85,000 deaths. And then more than 30,000 of those deaths were happening in nursing homes, which was very important data that we have to look carefully. Of course, when the wave was going on, the infection rate was high in young population. Nowadays, if this is the case, the situation is getting better. Let's hope that after Omicron this will end. We don't know yet, sir. Maybe we have to live with it over the future, but with a lower impact. But what is important is all the conclusions we can take from different waves in order to make our system more resilient. This is what matters at the end. Learn the lessons from what has been happening and try to improve our systems to be better prepared for the future. Of course, the biggest percentage of this was continuing, and today it is the same case, is of people over 70 years, which shows the importance of the impact that is having in elderly people, this illness. Concerning Spain, COVID has collapsed the Spanish health system, especially in the first waves. The Spanish health system has been collapsed. Now it's not the same. Now intensive care has a peak of numbers, especially in December and January, but now it's going low and it hasn't been collapsed. But at the beginning, it was completely collapsed. And the problem is that in Spain there is a high number of old people. So the expectancy living rate of Spain is the second or the third after Japan. So it is a very important area of population that we have to take care of it. And out of these elderly people, 381,000 live in 5,400 nursing homes in Spain. So this makes even more important the fact that we have to take care of the nursing homes in Spain. Why also the rate of dead people was higher in elderly people? It's because this disease has an impact, a very important impact in elderly, in diseases which are related with elderly people. So, for example, the respiratory and circulatory chronic diseases, the mental illnesses, diseases like cancer, they are all they have a high impact on elderly people. So this is related with the sickness, makes that more people die. And COVID is one of the factors. They don't die. Some they die because of COVID, but some they die because of the complications of COVID due to an illness like the ones we have been mentioning before. Also, we have been working in this paper about taking into account the conclusion of the study of Joyce Sherlock, Ebrahim Greffen, and McNee, that they say that the conditions of elderly nursing home they do not always guarantee a good space. That of course the dependency and vulnerability to acquire first aid goods in those nursing homes sometimes is not that good, because especially due to a pandemic, not a lot of people are providing the service, and this can lead to weak hygiene. And in this case, hygiene and washing your hands was very important. Then, of course, there is a huge impact, and especially in Spain, of the family, because grandparents were taking care of grandsons, and due that grandsons were able to infect and to spread the disease, a lot of grandparents were not able to take care of their grandsons. So this has had an impact in conciliation of life for couples and for young people, or people from 20 to 50 years old with children and families, and also psychologically for the grandparents, who they feel themselves useful, and in that situation they cannot give what they want to give to society and to their children and to their grandchildren, which is to take care of them. And this also has a psychological impact on the life of elderly people. And of course, especially in the first waves, due to the lack of respirators, health system, they have to choose, and they have to choose between people. And in cases where you have to choose between a 30, 40, 50-year-old person and an 80 or 90-year-old person in order to intubate and give him or her respirators, elderly people, unfortunately, in those very, very dramatic cases, they didn't have the choice to be the ones having this respirator in these cases. Of course, in our paper, what we are always also looking at is that this disease is not only about killing people, and especially elderly people, where we were focused on, and nursing homes, but it has also a lot of impacts concerning the health of the people. We are talking about the mental health, the fear of death of the elderly people, loneliness because they cannot go with their grandchildren, with their daughters, with their kids, the sadness because they are isolated, irritability due to the situation, anxiety, insecurity, or disinformation. There are some of the effects that the illnesses has caused during the pandemic, and those effects they have a short, medium, and long-term effects in our society, and especially in the elderly people. So more or less, those were the facts that we have been analyzing in our communication paper, in our research paper. And from all the data and all the investigation we have been carrying, especially during the first 2-3 waves, the main conclusions that we have arrived to were that COVID-19 has proved that the current system has deficiencies. So the current system is not ready for a situation, is not resilient enough for a pandemic situation as the one we have been suffering. Because the health system at the beginning was saturated, because the elderly and nursing homes were severely affected at the beginning of the pandemic, especially the first, second wave. The death rates were too high in those nursing homes, especially in Spain and other European Western countries in general. And then because of all this, we really need to think, and we really need to try to improve the standards that we are facing now for future challenges, because this pandemic has proven that the system is not resilient enough, and we really need to work on the system to make him more resilient. So if a future pandemic like this arrives, the system can be better prepared to reply to the situation. So that's all what I wanted to share with you. I would like to thank you for your kind attention, and I would like to wish you all the best for this webinar. And thank you very much for your kind attention, and have a nice day. Bye bye.